Okay, so this is my video analysis on landing mechanics. So I wanted to do like a drop jump and analyze that. So let's play this video. Now this is a former collegiate lacrosse player, so she doesn't have much experience in jumping mechanics and landing mechanics. She's more of a pivoting and sprinting athlete. Okay. And then we'll see one again. All right, so immediately, let's slow it down. I'm gonna speed it up until she lands. All right, so right here, she takes off with her right foot, lands first with her right, and then lets the left knee drop in quite significantly. And then the right knee goes valgus. And then she immediately steps back and leans towards her right leg. So let's analyze that a little better. Okay, so right here would be her lowest point. So this is where I'm going to get angles for her knee valgus. So we can see her hip is right here, her knee goes right about there, and then her foot's right there. So you can see her angle's right there, her knee is pretty far in. And then let's look at her other one. So I'm going to say her hip's right there, knee. So on this one, the knee is actually more varus, I would say. It's really interesting. So she looks like she's compensating on her right side a lot more. Her hips are a little higher on her right side, I would say, but her shoulders over are pretty square. So in another view, you can see her trunk and all of her weight being mostly on her toes. So let's look at right here, her contact is on the ground on the back of her heels, and then right here, her heels are very far off the ground. Okay, so here's our other view, and now the book touches slightly on some things to look at, and basically want to increase the whole lower body joint flexion during absorption and use the arms also during flight and absorption. So a few things to look at is if the athlete is producing flexion at lower body joints, if the athlete's swinging arms down during the landing, the coordination of body segments. So is her feet landing at the same time? Are her knees bending at the same time? Do her hips look stable? Second, being stability. After she jumps, is she stable? Is she balanced? Where's her weight located? And then where's the trunk? So is it leaning forward or is it backwards, or is most of her weight quad dominant or glute dominant? So let's look at once pretty fast. So immediately she fell backwards on her. She wanted to compensate by bringing her legs back. So let's see. So let's slow it down pretty significantly to look what caused this. So she again is right foot dominated, so she'll step off with her right foot. Let's see right here. So she's using her arms to brace, right foot forward. All of her weight is on her toes. So you can see right there. Right there, her foot is pretty significantly off the ground, and this one as well. She's got good trunk flexion. She's not parallel basically at all. So that could probably be an explanation for why so off balance she ends up being. And then immediately you see all of her weight from the other video was on her right side. So this might explain why she also uses steps back with her right foot as well. Let's look at it one more time. So she lands pretty simultaneously. Her knees go. She needs to increase her lower body flexion, especially at her knees and hips, to absorb some of those forces a little better. And then she's completely off balance right here. All right, now let's look at the other jump. All right, so here's the other video. So you can see she overcompensated for her last trial, and instead of falling backwards on her heels, she put all of her weight forward on her toes. So let's look. So she'll again step off with her right foot, so she's going to land a little bit more on her right foot. All of her weight off of her toes. Her heels are so far off the ground, and then her whole entire body momentum is forward. So let's look one more time and analyze this a little better. So that's when her toes hit the ground. And then again, her toes or her heels are so far off the ground. So we really need to find like a happy medium for that. And then let's see her angles right here. Yeah, so they're almost perpendicular. Like they're not parallel at all. Her flexion at her knee does not compare to the flexion at her hip. So all of her weight is again going forward. And then she has to use that extra step and compensate. So let's look a little bit more into what we can prescribe her to fix her stability and her quad glute dominance.
Okay, so getting into her exercise prescription, a few areas of concern I looked at was that odd distribution of weight from her toes to her heels, so getting that happy medium. And then her knee valgus in her right knee, and most of her weight being in her right caused an extreme knee valgus. So we got to strengthen those abductors and external rotators. And then also her lack of balance and stability. One of the biggest things that the book touched on was stability and coordination of body segments. So I looked at this study done with 36 healthy adults that they wanted to look at the landing area scoring system and if an exercise prescription improved these tests. So this was their exercise prescription. It was kind of a circuit of all these different exercises, and then they actually found that their landing area scoring system scores improved in both the males and females. So I thought of something incorporating this since it is evidently based. So I was thinking of more of the agilities to work on her balance. So the 60-meter cutting was done shuffling, and then the 60-meter weaving was done with cariokas. So I definitely wanted to incorporate this to hit that stability component of her landing. And then, yeah, I definitely think that this combination of exercises will target specifically her areas of weakness. And hopefully you can see improvements that will be found that you can see on the Hudl technique, and you can compare these to her original scores and her original video.